health? Can anything affect on how we feel? And so in our previous video, we spoke about um, types of group or types of people who are more likely to experience mental illness. So we mentioned about those groups, but however, we say that it doesn't have to be only those group. Even if you're not a part of those group, you can also get affected. The reason why we mention those groups because are more likely to according to statistic, these groups are higher, more affected compared to any other people. So now, after discussing those groups, have not watched our previous video, please do and watch those video. And also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe so that you don't miss out any of our videos. Before I could go ahead, also, I'm checking on you. How are you feeling today? How is your mental health today? For me, I'm feeling great. Lisa, how are you feeling today?
I feel great as well.
Wow, fantastic. That's good news. So on today's topic, we are going to focus on one group that was mentioned on our previous video. And this is a group of young people we discuss about. So I'm going to read to you about the fact that about mental health, mental illness among young people. So globally, 1 in 7, 10 to 19 years old experience a mental disorder, accounting for 15% of the global burden of disease in this age group. Depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorder are among the leading cause of illness and disability among adolescents. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among those aged 15 to 29 years old. The consequences are failing to address adolescents' mental health conditions, extend to adulthood, impairing both physical and mental health, and limiting opportunities to lead fulfilling lives as an adult. Now, you've already heard about the fact that this group are being affected. Lisa, do you mind to go much more details what is actually happening to this group of young people and why they are facing this type of mental illness?
Okay. So we said that this group of people, they can experience any type of mental illness. And there are some reasons why they are quite at risk. The first reason is the environment. So, for example, a lot of young people might grow up in hostile environment and bullying in school, stress. And as a result of that, they can't cope with the learning and anything. As we said, that learning, mental illness affects the learning aspect as well, and coping and relationship with other people. So therefore, if they have any negative environmental experience, that can impact on their mental health. The other factor is relationships. So in some relationships are very traumatic, some relationships are abusive, and these can impact upon the young people very much. Because remember, their minds are young and they require care. So the fact that if any abuse or anything, then they're at risk of their mental health being affected. Then there's the identity crisis. Recently in the news, we heard that people are having more than one gender, having more than two genders and all these things. And they can be quite confusing because it's already confusing understanding what gender you are if two and then you have multiple. That's even more confusing. And especially when it comes to sexuality. So, identity crisis. For example, a boy might be gay, he might like other boys, and he might feel different from other people because why is he feeling different? Because he will wonder why his peers like girls and he likes boys. So even that can be very confusing for him. Then there is the socioeconomic factors. What we know is that inequalities in socioeconomic inequalities can affect people. And poverty is one of the problems where, and the younger group of people, they usually earn less money. And therefore, because of that, they may not be able to cope very well because, especially these days where young people like brands and they feel inadequate if they can't afford certain things. And this can affect them considerably. So then social media can play a role now because now you trying to fit in, and social media has its own concept of what is beauty and what is not. And if you don't fit into that group of people, then you feel left out and isolated, and this can lead to depression, anxiety, poor sleep, poor eating, um, anything to affect your mental health. And in the last case, that pandemic, during the last crisis, we had parents dying, people close relatives passing away, and you can't attend the funerals and can't attend weddings, and this isolation process, it creates isolation. And therefore, a lot of people might go through their bereavement, grief, and everything, especially young people who can't understand what is happening and why it is happening. So they experience mental health problems, mental illness. And how it can happen is that there's behavioral problems, there's emotional problems, and there's like binge eating or anorexia, whereby you're trying to control the events in your life. But sometimes some social issues you can't control, so you try, even though only attempt to control it, but it may or may not work. Most likely it may not, and then therefore you come down with a mental illness. My okay, so it may not happen to you, but it may happen to somebody you know, a friend, a relative, somebody close to you, and they might need some extra help. In that case, counseling. Can you explain to people what sort of help they can get for themselves or their relatives if they're going through these problems?
Thank you. Lisa, through so much details, so much going through my mind. The beginning of the new chapter, and so much things are happening around them, and they need to make those biggest decision. They have to take control of their life. They are learning how to take control of their lives. So it's really kind of a confusing age where people around them, family members, even society as a whole, just need to be able to understand these young people. So much of the things that I'm going to talk about is just how we can support our young people to manage their mental illness or even prevent them to not experience any such kind of mental illness. There are so many things that we can do, but on this video, I'm only going to I'm only going to talk about 5 strategies that we can do to support young people staying away from mental illness. Again, preventing is better than having that experience than somebody going through this kind of mental illness. So one of the first things that is having open communication or encourage open communication. In nowadays, most of the parents are quite busy going to work, and especially when you have those children who are growing up and you don't need to drop them to school and they just need to go to school, bring them back. Communication has been left out. And people don't talk with their as they used to, because people are now busier. But only way you can support someone during that kind of age group is having regular communication. So your child will be much more feeling comfortable to discuss with you anything about how they feel, about how they see the world, about how how they're experiencing the world. And if you are showing them that you are a good listener, number one, they're going to be your best friend. And also they're going to find themselves free to talk about anything that they're experiencing throughout. Because what I've realized in young people, for those who are not really free to talk about anything with their parent or even relatives closer to them, you realize that they become very withdrawn and they're kind of like in their own world. It shouldn't be like that. So let's open communication with them and be more supportive towards their work. And another tips, number 2, is promoting physical health activities. And this can be anything. Children who are already, young people who are already 15, 16, they easily access the gym. If you are a parent and you are able to access this kind of activities, why don't you think about your child? Even if you are not using any gym, you can also encourage your child to just help your child to have this kind of access, because exercise has been shown that improves the mood, it reduces stress, and also support overall mental well-being. So encouraging this kind of activities, it's really good. Your child will get to enjoy much more. And even if you can't not afford gym, you can also walk with your child. Just go outside, walk around in a park, pick a bike, do the biking, so that you up, not only thinking like your is growing, is now over 10, is now over 15. I don't have no much, to do with your child. There are still so much to do with child. You can still do all this kind of supporting activities with your child, and you both going to enjoy at the same time. And another thing is number 3 is building coping strategy, coping skills, because although your child may be going through that kind of mental difficulties, it's not like you as an adult, you don't get this. We always do. But so what do you do to help yourself, to make sure that you don't end up having this mental illness? What do you actually do? So teaching your child, those different strategies. The first time I introduced to my children breath work and mindfulness and even yoga and meditation. First time, I thought that they are not going to enjoy it. It's kind of boring. Maybe they are not going to keep up. But now they are the ones who encourage me that we have not done this today. Can we do this today? You know, we have not been doing break for the whole week. Can we do it today? So this kind of things really brings also bond around the family, and children feel like they are working well with the parent when you participate in this kind of activities with them, and be kind of like a role model, them, show them how to have a good mental health. You know, these kind of things are very helpful, but mostly your children will feel loved, will feel having this belonging because they are free with you. They are free to talk to you about anything. They are free to do any activities that you engage them into. And also they feel included in a family. So honestly, those strategies that you use to help yourself to keep up with your good mental health, please teach them to your child. Tips number 4 is to social media and encourage real life connection. You know, these days there's so much distraction across internet. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we um, have what? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You know, there are so much things. I can't even remember most of them. You know, those really, I mean, it's good for our young people to know that these things exist because they learn from them. But then as a parent, you need to make sure that you set up that limit on how long they have that access to this social media. And that will, by you doing that, you will definitely have some other things to do with them because it has to be both way. If you are telling them, okay, is for this social media, and then you have to offer them something else to do because you want them to feel they are bored in their own, because that's another thing. Because when young people are feeling bored, not they end up starting losing self-esteem. There's nothing to do at home. I cannot social media. So you need to start thinking about what kind of other things that you can help your young people do from home when they're off social media. Is he like sitting at the table and have a talk as a family, or is he like calling one of your family members who are far away so that your children or young people can get to know their family members? So you need to find something that can replace social media so that don't get drawn with what's going around social media. Another thing is being a role model of your children. And sometimes as a parent, we forget about what we have been through. And we feel like, yes, you've got these young people are growing and you can speak to them anyhow, you can abandon them. No, it doesn't work like that. It's very important that you are being a good role model to them, because this is the time now they are starting to explore the world around them. And if you're that parent who are very shouting, who are enforcing your power to the children, you make life difficult for yourself and also for your children. So it's very important that you become very compassionate and understanding and positive, and also having that open communication with your children, your young people. Sorry, I keep saying children because, you know, whatever how young they are, they will be always your children or your child. So yeah, so sorry about that. I mean, in this context, I'm talking about young people. So, and also another thing is that you need to keep celebrating their strengths. Wherever you see that there is downs, keep encouraging them. That is something they can do. Whatever our minds pose, everything will definitely work for us. So it is very important that we encourage young people to have a very strong a very positive self-esteem, be able to, stand for themselves, be able to defend for themselves, be able to communicate with you, because everything starts from home. All the simple skills you're teaching them, they expand them when they go out. So those are the 5 tips I can offer today. And if there is anything, I will provide them in the next video. But for today, the 5 and families who are having young growing up children around. Ristra, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that was brilliant. I love those tips.
Thank
Because
you.
they talk about the relationship and the environment and all these things that you should have so that the children so that the young people can be nurtured.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. So
Thank you so much. If this video helps anyone, please like the video and also share. And so on our next video, we're going to explore more on our on these other groups we have discussed about, how we can be supportive to them, because we just need to build a really loving and supportive society. Everyone have a freedom to choose who they want to become, but however, it's all how we see things around us and how we treat each other. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.
thank you.